JN Breaking Through with Beverly Manley is brought to you by Jamaica National Building Society and Eden Gardens Nutraceuticals.
Spending the time to dwell internally to find out who we really are as children of God. We're really born to be great. And if we can see ourselves in that way and see others in that way, then we're on the road to building effective relationships.
I just kind of took the best looking uniform, which was the Marines. I wish somebody had told me that was the hardest one and the first to go. I never knew all of that, so I just kind of went in. And once I went in and got on the yellow footprints, them and they will start yelling in my face and screaming at me. And you know, my first reaction is to shoot my man in my face, and then I became the person that they pick on from that point on. So, which I knew in their mind that they wanted me to get kicked out. So no, that motivated me to prove them, not to get kicked out.
So that thing about, you know, always sort of wanting to stand up for yourself and proving people wrong about you, is that something you find that has been with you throughout your life?
I still do it to this day.
Yes.
I still find myself proving myself.
What brought you into this kind of era? What made you feel, what gave you the courage that you could come into this male-dominated service?
It all has to do with the way I was brought up. I was brought up to be a challenger. I was brought up to be a part of whatever I can. I love activity. I was an athlete in high school. So I was a bit boyish. My mother, she always will tell you anything that is happening and you want to be a part of it, don't be scared, go ahead and do it. And she was one of my greatest supporter and everything.
Now, what is it that really drives you, and when did you first become aware that you were driven?
I think, Beverly, there are certain points in my life that are outstanding. I remember I had a primary school teacher, Mrs. Reed, and she took about 5 or 6 of us under her wings. And she really had wings. And she'd take us, and I remember at 9, 10, I could tell you who was the Prime Minister of Australia, Gough Whitlam. I remember Khrushchev. I remember the capitals of cities. So when she taught me that, and she was preparing to send me to Monroe. Now, I'm from an ordinary little home in St. Elizabeth, and Mrs. Reed has decided that I'm going to Monroe. And she'd take us aside and give us special lessons. And at that stage, I remember that really and truly, if you work hard and you have somebody who can guide you well, you can be outstanding.
If there's a single thing that you took away from what you're referring to as the collective socialization, what would you say that is? The single most important value, maybe?
Well, you know, speaking of values, one of the things that more and more recently I've been focusing on instructing in Wisynco, our corporate values. We've developed an acronym for those values, which is CHIRP, and it stands for compassion, humility, integrity, respect, and passion.
Say it again.
Compassion, humility, integrity, respect, and passion.
And all have equal value.
Equal importance. For me, the value that I speak to the most as being, I think, the most important in our organization is humility. Because I think with humility, you can learn, you can teach, you listen, you can get respect from people. So that is, I think for me, that was the single most important value that I've learned from my grandmother.
How do I introduce Donna Duncan Scott? Because I have to know, step into the shoes of this giant, awesome woman. Yeah. I felt like I was in some deep waters and I was not swimming, I was drowning, that's how it felt. When I saw that, I realized that anything really was possible. I was present to the possibility that I could actually declare and create what I wanted to continue to build at the JMMP.
JN Breaking Through with Beverly Manley is brought to you by Jamaica National Building Society and Eden Gardens Nutraceuticals.